Right, Shalom Rastafari. This is Wyndham Yadon. This is Ras Yadino Stefari of the Lion of Judah Society, or Ras Iodonis Tafari. And we're speaking on lying, concerning lying witnesses, right, from the Queen of Sheba and her only son Menelik, and it's chapter 76. All right, so we're going to continue. Let's just go over the prophecy of David, because these liars, right, they went to the house of Carmen. They held conversation or reasoning. Make out that reason, brethren, you know what I'm saying, with him. And, said peace and all that. Yes, I know. And they paid him compliments. Yes, the I and the I, blah, 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 right? And they made jest before his face. But you know what was in their heart? Kufl. Kufat was in their heart. And then was fulfilled on them, against them, judgment. The Tinbete Dawit, the prophecy of great King David, who said, those who speak words of peace, words of shalom, words of salam with their neighbor, with their brethren and their sister, and have evil in their hearts, their conscience is not clean with the word of the King of Kings and his Christ, reward them according to the evil of their works and according to the evil of their thoughts. And they drank themselves drunk in the house of Carmen. And they slept together with him in the same house of Carmen, right? And when they had fallen asleep, behold, so the brethren, Carmen was thinking, oh, yes, he's entertaining his brethren, sharing his drink, sharing his food, sharing the heat of his house and everything. And when they all had fallen asleep or gone to rest, behold, the angel, right, the Melake Egziavihir Hashem, right, was sent to Carmen, and he awoke him. When the Spirit wake you up about some things, woke him and said to him, leave all thy possessions and save thyself. For men have been commanded by Manasseh, the king, to cut off thy head. Take as much of thy riches as thou canst carry and flee into another country. For this Manasseh is a slayer of the Nebiah, a slayer of the prophets, and a seeker after the blood of innocent men. As bad or as sad as that might sound, that is just being mature, right? That's just growing up, right, in the King of Kings and his Christ, recognizing the reality. You understand? This is why we have Torah, right? This is why we're to study and show ourselves approved. This is why we have to be born again, right? Then Carmen, he rose up straightway and sought out his treasure in gold and took it. And he awoke his wife and his 2 sons. And he also awoke his chosen servants and loaded them with possessions of great value and went forth by night. And he sent off his wife and his sons with 2 servants to Jerusalem. And he departed with 2 of his servants to a remote country. And that's interesting right there, where the Torah teaches us that too. Sometimes you have to divide your camp and your company, right? Especially in a situation like that. A distance of 3 months' journey. So he went one way, and he sent his wife and his children and 2 of his servants to Jerusalem, which is like saying to, say, Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, Africa, in other words. And he arrived at Babylon. And he came to Belaon, who was the king of Babylon, and gave him a gift and related to him what had happened to him. And Belaon, he loved Carmen, right, and gave him a habitation near the house of his merchant, who had departed to a far country for a period of 3 years. Right? So John made a way for him. Remember, he just took as much as he could carry. So if we're not really cleansed, if the same word came to us, would we think, oh man, I got to take this, I got to take that? It's like Abraham. It's like the story of Abraham right there. And that is our faith, the exercise. So Carmen exercised that faith. But what about those men who had borne lying testimony? And those men who had borne lying testimony, they killed in bed in Carmen's house. Ain't this something? These guys went and lied and what is that? that false testimony. They got their false testimony, collusion, colluded their testimony. Make sure that it agreed. Okay, if he asks this, then we're all going to say this, then we're all going to say that, so forth and so on. And yet they had the audacity of kafat, right? They had the audacity to go to the man's house and to laugh and joke and smoke or drink, in other words, right? And they fell asleep in the house of the one who they had set up to get killed, to get murked, right? So you got to watch these